Mine at Marikana near Rustenburg in the northwest is to be officially opened by the Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga later today. The school is expected to help alleviate overcrowding at some local schools. The school, on the other hand, is also meant to ease the burden from grade R right up to grade 12.
For 22 years, Marikana Combined School had an annual enrollment of 1,600 learners. Learners were crammed into classrooms, making learning and teaching impossible.
Our challenges were overcrowding and also managerial problems because of the size of the management and the size of the school.
The newly built school is a relief to older learners.
The children used to make a lot of noise, so the noise is less. Now we can study peacefully without being disrupted by them.
The Minister of Basic Education is among those expected at the opening. SABC News, Marikana.
All right, and for more on that story, let us now cross live to our reporter Uleboheng Khosilintwe in Marikana this morning, and she's joined by the Department of Basic Education's Deputy Minister Enver Surti. Uleboheng, a very good morning to you. We've just painted the picture of how the situation looked like before and, of course, currently. So this is a relief to many pupils going to that particular school.
Good morning, Palisa. Indeed, a big relief. The new school is called the new Marikana Primary School. As you can see right now, preparations are underway for the official opening this morning. But I must state that the school started operating during this new academic year, 2018. So the primary school has been separated now from the combined school so that the younger learners can have a proper opportunity to learn without, some of the challenges such as overcrowding. But to take us more into the official opening and what the school means for the area of Marikana, as you mentioned earlier, I'm now joined by the Deputy Minister of Basic Education, Mohammed Enver Surti. Good morning, Minister, and welcome to Morning Live. For the fraternity of basic education, a school in an area such as this, we know the issues of Marikana. What does it mean?
Well, it means a lot to people, to the community. It's a community that has grown very, very rapidly. The infrastructure that we had available was inadequate and insufficient, and therefore a social initiative of this particular nature, given the realities of yesteryear, are an important contribution to reconciliation and the creation of a better future for our children.
You talk about the lack of basic infrastructure. Now, a very pertinent issue that's going on in our country right now is that of pit toilets. We saw just the other day a 5-year-old, falling into a pit toilet in Mbizana in the Eastern Cape. Why has it taken the department so long to get rid of these pit toilets and, to create for a proper, healthy and safe environment and ablution facilities for our primary school students?
Well, the challenges of sanitation and ablution facilities are a challenge that we've inherited as a result of the disproportionate development in our country. So you have provinces such as the Eastern Cape, Limpopo, KwaZulu-Natal, that have huge challenges in relation to the provision of water. There's no pipe water in villages, and therefore pit latrines still is the norm, which we believe should be eliminated progressively. It doesn't exist in the Western Cape. In Gauteng, for example, there may be 3 or 4 schools with pit latrines, and we are progressively working towards the elimination of pit latrines. Another reality that we face in relation to infrastructure is the fact that we've introduced in recent years grade R. So currently there are more than 750,000 grade R learners in our schools. Now, in this natural scheme of things, when you look at sanitation and ablution facilities for grade R learners, they are quite different and separate from. They should be age appropriate. So we've really enjoined our provinces to ensure that they provide adequate grade R facilities so that what has occurred to Little Lumka is not repeated anywhere else. Yesterday, the Minister for Basic Education, Deputy Minister, convened all the MECs for education, heads of department, as well as those dedicated officials for infrastructure to see to what extent can we accelerate the program. As we speak now, just in this, through the ASIDI program, that's an accelerated school infrastructure initiative. an initiative by the National Department which does not preclude provinces from dealing with the issues of infrastructure. We've basically completed more than 450 projects on sanitation and ablution facilities. There's about 170 that are under construction and another 102 that are in design. That's something that we have to accelerate, work together, reprioritize our budgets so that we can deal with the fundamental issues of sanitation and ablution. It's a fundamental human right, and we can't say it should wait. It should occur sooner rather than later.
Now, Minister, I'm sure you'll agree with me that the life of Lumka, one life is one life too many. You know, I mean, to say that there's still 2 or 3 schools remaining here and then various provinces with pit latrines, I think it's something that, as you said, needs to be accelerated. But how would the department have acted if it wasn't for the president's intervention? Would you still have, costed that comprehensive plan that is to be given to the president?
Well, no. Obviously, we've made the intervention. The president is looking at the urgency of the matter and quite correctly wants a report and audit of the needs and the demands in relation to sanitation. But the sanitation program had been initiated some years ago. And as I've indicated, we had approximately 600 schools that are completed. More than 450 are already completed. More than 157 have reached completion beyond 75%. So as we speak right now, more than hundreds of schools are being worked at in order to improve and enhance the quality of sanitation.
So do we have a time frame as to when we will see a complete overhaul of pit latrines in our school?
Well, in provinces such as the Eastern Cape in particular, in KwaZulu-Natal and Limpopo, the phenomenon is quite widespread. I think we can, within the next financial year, eliminate the phenomenon in the other provinces. I think it's going to take a little longer in the Eastern Cape, and part of the reason why we've convened is say, to what extent can we pool our resources to ensure that we can accelerate the process so that the learners in the Eastern Cape do not suffer the plight of pit latrines.
Thank you, Minister. Palesa, the Deputy Minister of Basic Education there, outlining for us how long it will take, for the country to finally be rid of pit latrines in our school and to ensure the safety of our children, especially the youngest ones. Well, the story continues. We will be here as the opening of the new Marikana Primary School goes underway. We'll be talking to a Lonmin representative, the sponsor of the school, in a brief time. For now, it's back to you in studio.
All right, as she said, we'll probably be crossing back to in the third and the final hour of the show later on. All right.